Finding that perfect Christmas book to read during the season is a very special part of many people's celebration of Christmas. Having that secret treasure that you can sneak in a few minutes here and there for during the bustle and hustle between the pies and the guests and the presents and the functions. Oh my! But what to read? What to read? This year we thought we'd try a fun little project that may just help you find the perfect book. So our new series of Christmas Prologues is short introductions to stories and books you may like to have as your holiday reading companions this season, or just maybe as a gift for someone special on your shopping list. We hope you enjoy. And now, today's Christmas Prologue from Story Link Radio. A Darcy Christmas, a holiday tribute to Jane Austen. Mr. and Mrs. Darcy wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Share in the magic of the season in these 3 warm and wonderful holiday novellas from 3 best-selling authors, all in one book. Book 1, Christmas Present by Amanda Grange. It is a truth universally acknowledged that a married man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of an heir, and Mr. Darcy of Pemberley was just such a man. Moreover, he was soon to have that want satisfied, for his wife, Elizabeth, was expecting their first child. As he watched her reading mail at the breakfast table, his heart swelled with pride. She opened a second letter and smiled. "Jane has had the baby," she said. "A boy." "So Bingley is a father," said Darcy with evident pleasure. "And Jane is a mother. Oh, my dear Jane, how proud and pleased she must be. Bingley is besotted," said Elizabeth, returning to her letter. "Jane says she can scarcely persuade him to leave the nursery to eat and sleep. And she adds, and it is not to be wondered at, for little Charles is the most beautiful baby you have ever seen." Elizabeth looked up at Darcy. Jane would like us to stay with her for Christmas. She says she can wait no longer to show us the new baby, as well as the new house. I am sure I cannot wait to see them. I will give orders for the packing at once." "No, we cannot go and see them just yet." He looked at his wife's full figure as she rose unsteadily to her feet. "You forget your condition." "I never forget my condition," she said with a rueful smile, resting her hand on her rounded stomach. "We will wait a few weeks, nevertheless. It will be better that way." "What nonsense! I am perfectly able to climb into the carriage, and that is all I need to do," she said, laughing at him. "But you might have the baby on the way." "And I might not." "We might be in a lonely spot with no midwife to hand and nothing but the coach to shelter you. No hot water, no maids, no Mrs. Reynolds. No, Lizzie, it will not do. I am sorry, my love, but I forbid it." Instead of meekly obeying his command, Lizzie's eyes sparkled, and she said, "I knew how it would be. When we were newly married, you would deny me nothing. But now that a year and more has passed, you are showing your true colors, and you expect me to obey you in everything." "I doubt if you have ever obeyed anyone in your life." He sat back and looked at her with a smile playing about his lips. "No, indeed I have not, for I have a mind of my own, and I like to use it. Otherwise it might grow rusty with neglect." Book 2, Mr. Darcy's Christmas Carol by Carolyn Eberhart. Chapter 1, Old Mr. Darcy's Ghost. Old Mr. Darcy was dead to begin with. There's no doubt whatsoever about that. The clergyman, the clerk, the undertaker, and the chief mourner had all signed the register of his burial. His son signed it, and Fitzwilliam Darcy's name was as good as his father's before him. Old Mr. Darcy was as dead as a doornail. Darcy was dreadfully cut up by the sad event. There's no doubt that old Mr. Darcy was dead. This must be distinctly understood, or nothing wonderful can come of this story. Darcy was often proud and conceited, arrogant and disdainful to those whom he did not know. Friends, on the other hand, might stop him in the street to say with gladsome looks, "My dear Darcy, how are you? When will you come to see me?" Children and dogs often seemed able to see beneath his exterior to the real Darcy. Yet many never saw in him that which did not appear on the surface. Darcy's soul and heart had sustained an injury in this spring, from one who had yet to see beyond his outward facade. Elizabeth Bennet had refused his proposal of marriage, refused it in a manner that seemed as hard and sharp as flint. I had not known you a month before I felt that you were the last man in the world whom I could ever be prevailed on to marry." Darcy could now admit that his offer, sincere as it was, had been given in an abominable manner, and he winced at the still vibrant memory. But her harsh words had not struck out the fire of his love. He had tried to conquer his feelings, but he could not. Hope had bloomed anew for a few sunlit days last summer, when he had unexpectedly run into Elizabeth at Pemberley. She seemed more inclined to think well of him than she ever had before. A few halcyon days had been all that had been allowed before the news of Lydia Bennet's fall from grace had separated them yet again. Book 3, A Darcy Christmas, by Sharon Lathan. Prologue. He set the painting onto the sofa, assuring it was well supported before stepping away. He gazed at the canvas, a smile spreading as he looked upon his family. His family. The family created by him and his wife, just as he had dreamt for so many lonely years. They stood on the portico of Pemberley, flanked by their precious children on the steps. All of them were smiling at the artist. A sentimental man by nature, he silently examined the newest portrait of his family and lost himself in happy memories. Unsurprisingly, since it was Christmas Day, his reminiscence focused on holiday celebrations of the past. So lost was he in quiet contemplations that he did not hear his study door opening. But he did smell the lavender water habitually worn by his wife, and extended his arm without averting his attention from the painting. She slipped under his arm, nestling against his side as naturally as a bird takes to its nest, her arms encompassing his waist. "I plan to hang it there." He nodded toward the wall above the settee. "As much as I love Gainsborough's landscape, I would prefer to have you and our children watching over me as I work. Some day I can join the others in the portrait gallery, but not yet." She nodded in agreement. "I concur. We look wonderful here. It is an amazing portrait, arriving at a perfect time." "Well, true. It induced me to reflect on Christmases past. All of them have been wonderful since you came into my life." He looked at his wife then, his blue eyes tender and inundated with love. "All of them?" she repeated, teasing and meeting his eyes with the same intense emotion. Even those Christmases that were sad or difficult were special in my heart. My life is complete since we married, and I would change nothing. This Christmas is the most recent in a long line of incredible memories." "Oh, well, it's not over yet," she reminded him. Thank you for listening to today's Christmas Prologue. To find this great selection for yourself, visit your local bookstore or library, or Amazon, of course, or visit overdrive.com to read a digital version for free. The title and author are listed in the description of this video. Please explore our channel for lots more great stories. If you enjoyed, we hope you'll tell your friends about us. Tweet, post, ring, ping, whatever it takes. And remember to subscribe and click the alert bell to be notified of new releases from StoryLink Radio. Merry Christmas, everyone.